Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Colin Letty.
What's happening? So, Colin, why do you want to work here?
Well, over the last couple of years, I really found a passion for, talking about sports, analyzing, and kind of having a back and forth with people. And, I think I've always wanted a job with a public forum that I can utilize my voice to get my points across. And, I won't lie, I like being the center of attention. I like to be known, and, that's why a big reason I want to be in this industry. So, I've had some success so far in my young career doing it, so I think I'm going to keep pursuing this.
What irritates you about other people, and how do you deal with it?
A lot. I think people who are self-indulgent on air when it takes away from the topic. You see so many guys, and their own public persona takes away from what they're actually trying to talk about, and then you really don't get any analysis on the topic. So, a lot of times people talk Celtics, and then someone wants to talk about themselves, and it just really takes away from it. So that's what I would say.
What makes you qualified for this position?
Well, I think I have as much experience as a college kid can have coming out of college. The last almost year I've been working with CLNS Media, podcasting, writing, doing live radio shows, taking callers. A lot of that was for post-game Celtics and doing news feeds. So I've really learned how to do a lot of things in this industry, especially on the technical side too. I've been able to help produce my own show and work a little bit behind the scenes, and it's something I've been getting more comfortable with over the last two plus years, when I really figured out this is what I wanted. I hosted a radio show for the school. I did athletic broadcasting, so I have a lot of experience on air, on mic. So I think it's just repetition really makes you more comfortable, and I think I'm at that place right now. Obviously, room to improve, but I think I'm on my way.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Honestly, I love this company so much. I've been listening to it since I was 5, so this is a dream job in a sense. So in 5 years, I want to be here. In 10 years, I want to be here. So I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but sure, I'm not afraid to say that this would be a number one choice for me.
Have you interviewed anywhere else then? Or?
I've talked to a couple other radio stations. Not exactly the most perfect situations yet, but I think, obviously I want to keep my options open.
I have a huge list of applicants. What separates you from them?
Well, I think my experience that we just talked about. I think I have my ability to get guests on my show. I'm a 22-year-old college kid, and the other day I have, NBA All-Star Andre Drummond on. I was the first person to get, Alex Reamer to talk after his, slip up on air. And so I think I have a really good ability I think people want to talk to me, and I think, I'm a pretty open person, so they seem comfortable doing shows with me, and I think that's really what separates me. And also, obviously I played football. I want to talk sports, so I think, my experience as a college football player gives me a little more in-depth analysis than most guys. Obviously, it wasn't an NFL, not like Christian Fourier, but I think it does put me a little bit ahead of the curve when, especially when athletes like talking to other former athletes. So I think that helps me as well.
Do you have any ideas on how to improve the company?
Well, I think the social media presence may not be what it could be. A lot of the times when things are posted on Instagram, things are tagged awkwardly, and captions are also as well. It kind of seems like the social media for here seems it would have been relevant 2 years ago, but the way things have progressed, I think you need a little more graphics and a little more in-person interviews, and I think you guys could do a lot more in-office things. Like after a show, getting one of the radio hosts, do something funny with them, get a competitions going within the office, more maybe some more prizes as well, more Collins, more engagements, so that would be my suggestion.
What are your biggest strengths and weaknesses?
Well, strengths, I think I can hold a conversation. I think I can be entertaining, and I'm not afraid to I won't back down from really any situation, and keep my guns about me. And weaknesses, obviously, age in this industry is tough. Not every, it takes people maybe till they're 35 before they can get a solid footing in. And so maybe that right there, I won't know all the nuances of radio, the, nonverbal text that you read about. So I think that would be my biggest weakness. Just, I have experience for someone my age, but maybe someone a little bit older may have a little bit more, but I think I have a lot of potential.
What's the most difficult decision you've made in the last 2 years, and how did you come to that decision?
Honestly, I was all through college, up until probably a year ago. I really, really wanted to get into coaching. That was my big thing. I was working football camps every summer. I was in contact with my coach, and we were game planning to try and find me a spot for, post-graduation, trying getting a graduate assistant position at, New England, preferably a New England college. I really wanted to go to a Division I, and I had a lot of connections, at UMass and BC, but honestly, when I started doing this, and I know how much of a grind, college football is, and with recruiting, I didn't want to be a part of that, and I think things get really murky. So I think that's when I think I would have rather been, in the booth instead of on the field.
What is your proudest achievement?
I like to think winning the MASCAC last year was my happiest moment. To go from a 1-9 team to a 1-9 to 9-1, obviously was incredible. I got the ring out of this. It really stamped my career there, and it really, it was just bringing a group of guys together, and we're a D3 school, nothing crazy, no big advertisements, jerseys, stands. It was all just kind of for us, and for that, it was really just an incredible feeling to see that transformation over the years.
You talked about playing football and winning the championship. How would your experience as a college athlete translate to this job?
Well, like I said, competitiveness, obviously, I live for it. That's all I want to do is compete, and I want to be the best at everything. So when I put my mind to something, usually I do a pretty good job of it, I like to think. And, obviously it just gives me a little bit more of a background in sports, and I think you get a little more respect out of that, more credibility, that when you actually play a college sport, it really helps out your public career.
Thank you for coming. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I do, actually.